I think that we can probably get started. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Justin. I serve on staff with the Gathering alongside Deacon Tammy Jones-West, who's with us tonight. Tammy serves as the program director for the 2024 ELCA Youth Gathering. And so the two of us are excited to share some updates and some just general information about the gathering next summer. So throughout our presentation, if you have questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A feature in Zoom or the chat feature. That will we'll look at all of those at the very end and answer all of our questions. But feel free to do that throughout when they come up. And before we get started, I wanted to give a thanks and a shout out to the ELCA Foundation. They were the ones that sponsored this webinar. And so we want to give special thanks to them. If you would like to learn more about the foundation, we encourage you to visit elcafoundation.org for resources and information on how to contact your regional gift planner. And with that, I will share a fun little video and then Tammy will start us off.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Here I go. Give me that microphone. Is this the noise? The moment I've been waiting for is finally knocking at my door. My day up in the sun is just a ride. Shout out, scream it out, and testify. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. I'ma give 'em a sight to see. Buckle on up and get ready. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. All is on me, make it loud. Listen up, can you hear me now? Give me that mic. Now's the time. Get up, get loud, and show 'em what I'm about. Give me that mic. I'm coming alive. Ain't no stopping when I'm in the zone. Give me that microphone. Give me that mic. Give me that mic. Now's the time. Give me that microphone. Give me that microphone. Give me that microphone.
Thank you, Justin. I love that video. I love the music. Anyway, I'm going to begin with a word of prayer. The Lord be with you. Good and gracious God, we give you thanks for time together, for technology that brings us together from around the country. We give you thanks for the gift of your Son and for the ways in which the Holy Spirit moves us, makes us bold, and creates us to be. Give us time for questions, time for community, time for fellowship, and remind us that you're the center of all. In Christ we pray. Amen. So I want to tell you a little bit about what I believe to be one of the best things we do as a church. The gathering is it's a life-changing faith formation event. And this is our we call our elevator speech. If you've got your elevator speech about things, this is it. Immersed. We want our young people to be immersed in scripture, fellowship, and learning, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And so that's what the gathering is and does, and the ways in which we show up as a church. And when we think about our mission and our goals as the gathering, our young people, our goals are for them to be affirmed and challenged in their faith, and to hear things that might be new, but to be surrounded by people and adults who care for them, who care for them and walk alongside them, to ponder their vocation. We have not just candidacy processes and deacons and pastors, but how is the gathering, how is their faith changed by their Christian identity and their what does it look like to be the best CPA they can be, or to be the best cook, or the best mom, or the best dad. What does that look like? And the gathering gives them a chance to look at that. In Houston, one of my team members was at a gathering years ago, and she just paid attention to all the things that were happening in the city, and ended up in the hospitality industry because of someone asked her, like, how is what you want to do going to change by your faith? So we also want them to experience new perspectives. We come from all across the country, from different size churches, from different cities, from different rural and all the things. And what does that look like when we gather together? And they're going to bond with their congregational group, because there are stories to be told. And those of you who have been to the gathering, I have a colleague who swears that the best fried chicken he's ever had was in New Orleans, at a gas station. Now, I actually have no idea where this gas station was in New Orleans, because I've never seen a gas station in New Orleans, because we're usually downtown, but he swears it was the best chicken ever. And the kids that were on that trip with him will corroborate that with him. So those experiences will happen, and they'll tell those stories, and they'll have mountain highs and some funny things to go with it. And they'll also get the chance to learn more about our ELCA partners and the ways in which we show up as a church. And if we do that, we're doing well. Our theme is created to be. And the young people who came up with that theme wanted our people to be just immersed in the fact that they are who they are supposed to be. And that out of all they've been through, out of all the things they've been through, they could hear that they are created to be just as they are, and that they are loved and cared for, and they have a place in this world, they have a place in this church, and they've got a place in this gathering. And so that was important for the young people and they surrounded it in scripture. And the theme verse for our time together is, I'll praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works that I know very well. If they can leave there knowing that they are loved and cared for, we've done well. We've done our jobs. We've done what we should do. And you get a chance to hear those stories as the adults who accompany them, and you get a chance to wrestle with the text as well. And so that is, and each day we're going to wrestle with a different text and a different theme. These words, they are challenging, they are exciting, they are deep, and the young people were excited to share them with you. They wanted to talk about being brave and what that looks like and how that impacts their world. They wanted to talk about what it looks like, what does authentic mean in this day and age, and then in the time that we're living, what does free mean, and how is that challenging, and how is it also disruptive? Our next word, what are the things in which we see injustices in the world and how we respond, and how does that each of those make us disciples of Christ, and how we respond and interact with the world because of who we are, because of who we were created to be. So that's an overview of kind of what the days of our time together, as far as each of the days, and a little insight into the young people who said this is what our peers and our friends and our loved ones need to hear. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about New Orleans.
Sure. So yeah, a little bit about our host city, New Orleans. This is our fourth time as the ELCA coming to New Orleans. So we were first there in 97, and then 2009, and then 2012. And so after 12 years, we are excited to be back into the Bayou. And so kind of giving you an overview of programming, and then also kind of how being in New Orleans will look. So we'll still kind of rotate through 3 different program areas like we have in the last few cycles. Accompaniment, which you might know as service learning. That will be a day of service, advocacy work, awareness work, cultural immersion into the city of New Orleans. And so that will take place in a variety of different spaces throughout the city, and working with our partners in that work. Synod Day will be a day where you'll come together with your synod, just like it's named, for worship. And then we have something new this cycle that we're excited to share with you just in a few moments. Interactive learning will take place at the convention center. And so that will be very similar to years past, where our partner organizations will create engaging experiences for our young people to learn about their mission and their work. And so that will take place at the convention center. And so these 3 days, congregations will rotate through as the 3 main days of the gathering. And then at the end of those days, everyone will kind of walk on over to the Superdome, which you can see on the map. And we'll have mass gathering, which will include speakers and music and worship and lots of exciting things. And so that will be mass gathering. And then after mass gathering, we are excited to bring back community life. It's been, I think 2012 was probably the last cycle that we had community life kind of as this format. And so this would be, our team is planning several different hotel ballrooms throughout the city, and providing some spaces for continued learning. That could look like a meet and greet with a speaker. It could look with a debrief session of mass gathering. It could look like dances, board games, a wide variety of things. And so we are really excited for community life to be back in the programming for this cycle. And so that is just a big general overview of all of the programming that you will experience next summer in New Orleans. But I want to kind of talk a little bit more about Synod Day and what we're changing, and give you a little sneak peek into what that day will look like. So we kind of felt like we needed to shift Synod Day a little bit, and something we have heard many times is that you want to have time to explore the city that we're going to. And so we're like, how can we do that? And so how can we create an experience that you will be able to literally experience the city? And so our team is excited to come with a interactive scavenger hunt that will be throughout the French Quarter. And so you'll download an app, and basically you as a congregation will do a variety of different missions, is what they call it, to collect points throughout the French Quarter to learn about the history of the city and a variety of things. Each of these scavenger hunts that you will get to do will have a variety of different tasks, but they will kind of all have something in each of these categories. And so whether that is hearing something like music, or seeing something, or smelling beignets as you walk by Café du Monde, or finding an Instagram spot, or learning about a historical location. There's going to be a lot of different ways that our young people can engage with the city and learn about the history of New Orleans and the Quarter, as well as just see the city. And so we're really excited about the scavenger hunt. So something to kind of give you a better feel for what it will look like. I have a few examples of what some of these missions could look like. So one might be finding a local jazz musician that's playing on the streets, and kind of just stopping and taking a few moments to listen to the beautiful music and just kind of take it all in. Another example could be assembling your group to take a picture, like the Beatles' famous album cover. And so different creative prompts will be thrown in there as well. And then another one would be checking into a physical location. where you will learn about something related to New Orleans. So an example would be Woldenberg Park, which is on the river. And so learning about the river and how the river is very hard to navigate. And so there's specifically trained New Orleans captains that can navigate certain chunks of that river. And so just learning these different tidbits about the city as they go throughout the scavenger hunt. And so there will be a leaderboard, and there's ways to collect points and kind of compete against a variety of different congregations that are on your synod day. And so this synod scavenger hunt will take place either in the morning or in the afternoon on your synod day. And you'll either have worship in the morning or in the afternoon as well. And so you'll still worship together for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then you'll be sent out into the French Quarter to kind of live in that space and find creativity in the streets of the French Quarter. And so that is something that the team is very excited about, and is something new. And so we just wanted to give you that sneak peek. Next, I wanted to really highlight, now that we've kind of covered all of the programming that you'll experience for the gathering, we want to highlight our 2 pre-events. Pre-events will meet July 13th through the 16th, so right before the gathering, both in New Orleans. And so we have MYLE, which is the Multicultural Youth Leadership event, and then we have the Table, which is our pre-event for youth that live with a wide range of physical, cognitive, and emotional disabilities. And so we have 2 short videos that we want to share with you. And so the first one is from the director of MYLE, Dr. Kelly Sherman Conroy. And so she will share a little bit about what will happen at MYLE next summer.
What would it look like if we lean in, listen, and explore our story, embracing exactly who God created us to be and celebrating our fully authentic selves? We invite you to join us for the 2024 Multicultural Youth Leadership Event, a spirit-inspired celebration of community where you are invited to be with other storytellers who seek to inspire, empower, and listen to each other's stories. MYLE is the largest gathering of people of color in the ELCA, and we invite you to experience a spirit-led event in New Orleans. Will you join us?
So that was a quick little description of what MYLE will be and look like next summer. They will be in the Marriott right by the convention center. That's kind of their flagship hotel, and they'll also be utilizing the convention center for programming as well. And then our other pre-event, the Table, we have Pastor Jonathan Vihar, who will kind of describe a little bit about that pre-event next.
Welcome to the Table. There's a spot that belongs to you. The Table is a unique gathering, intentional about welcoming youth who live with a wide range of physical, cognitive, and emotional disabilities, so that they might grow as wise, faithful, and courageous witnesses. Our hope is that you would experience how you were created in the image of God to be wholly you. There's a spot that belongs to you at the table where Jesus is our host.
And And just to follow up on that, the table will take place at the Hilton Riverside, which is also really close to the convention center. And so we are excited for all of the things that will happen at both MYLE and the table. And something we are also very excited about for 2024. So for this cycle, thanks to a generous gift, we're able to waive the registration fee for the first 1,000 that register for MYLE and the first 200 to register for the table. And so that fee would be waived just by being the first 1,000 or first 200, and we still have plenty of space in those pre-events for people that would like to come. And so we encourage you to think about who in your community that you can invite to come to MYLE and to the table to experience that, and then also to then go with your congregation to the gathering. So that was a little bit about the gathering programming as well as MYLE and the table, and I will pass it to Tammy to kind of talk about how you can join in on the fun.
Sure. It is not too late. I know that we asked the question, how many of you have already registered or are thinking about registering or haven't decided yet? And we're hearing a lot like, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. Are we behind? No, you're really not. There's still plenty of time for you to be a part of this, and and we're excited that you're a part of this tonight, because it is it's an important step in a faith journey for our young people. And it could be the way that congregations are building their youth groups back. We know the impact of the pandemic across our church, and some congregations are using it to invite a friend. And, you know, as part of this, we're going to get together and we're doing the getting ready materials, and we're building community in anticipation of being together. And so for those of you who have already registered, thanks for getting that done. We know it's a lot of information to gather and to get, and it is a task. And so for those of you still thinking about it, there's a spot for you. And there's spots for your young people. And so the directors who are planning are diligently planning for you to be in New Orleans, and we're going to be excited to welcome you. And it is an event in a city that loves us. New Orleans, we've got great experience in this city. The hospitality industry is one of those places in New Orleans where they remember us from 2009 and 2012. And before that, the one thing, even though the hospitality industry suffered greatly in the pandemic as well, the people when it was time, when they came back. And so they remember us, and they are very excited to welcome us to the city. And so their properties we've got great properties in New Orleans. That's one great thing about the city. And the food, y'all, it's not bad. So we did want you to join in on the fun and be a part of that, and to be with us. We're now in regular registration, which will go through February the 14th. And so just think of this is how I remember the dates. I have to have the dates so through Valentine's Day and then through Tax Day. So that's your 2 dates. So the regular registration will go through February 14th, and then late registration will be up until Tax Day. And so you have a chance to register and still be a part of this event. And the young adult gathering also follows our same registration, and we'll talk a little bit about that, because we want you to have your young people there and to have your young adults there. So you can be a part of all this still, and it may feel like you're behind, but you're not. We know parents, I won't say that Lutherans were always the greatest at registering early or before or on time prior to a pandemic. Let's just say it's gotten a little worse all around, but it's just the reality of like knowing like what's going to happen next summer. Well, we're gonna gather together, and we want you to be there. So the young adult gathering I mentioned, it does follow the same deadlines, and this event came about because of in Minneapolis and the 11th graders. That was the group of people who were never going to have had the opportunity to go to a gathering. And so people were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And when we met with our colleagues in that are in young adults, the young adult team at the church-wide offices, and we're like, let's give this a shot. And we're excited that it's happening, because it gives that our colleagues a chance to gather a big group in a city where we have connections, and it gives our young people a chance to be a part of that event, and they'll be a part of the mass gathering events. And that's something to experience. For those who have not been to a mass gathering, there is something spectacular and amazing about watching people move into that space, and the energy and the excitement and the prayers and the things and the worship that happens in that space. There's something magical about it, and they'll get to experience that as well. And so we're excited about that. They're also going to be in smaller groups in teams by age in their gathering. It's a separate event, but we're helping with some of the logistics of it. And so they'll be in a hotel, and then they'll be having their events in a separate ballroom space. And so then they'll join us for the mass gathering times at night. So we're excited that it's happening. It's a new thing. We're trying something new. And so we're excited that our young people will be a part of that. Servant companion applications. So one of the ways in which our young adults can participate in the gathering is by being a servant companion. And these will be the young people who will accompany who will walk alongside on accompaniment day. So we'll accompany on accompaniment day, and they get the chance to go to take our groups of gathering participants to their accompaniment projects and to their times, and spend time with them and listen to their stories and tell their story. And that's an exciting way to do that. They will also be able to participate some in the young adult gathering, which is exciting because they can actually do both. And so if you have a young person, a young adult who you think would be great at that, please encourage them to apply. It is a great time. And the stories of the young people who have done that and who have been a part of that team, they're phenomenal. And they get to lead. It's a great leadership development tool, and we know they're leaders already, and so they get to lead our young people, and it's a good thing. So we do have our registration workbook. Those of you that have registered already, you've dug into the workbook, and we've got the forms for you to have. It's got all the information about registration that you need, the housing information, all the forms, medical, registration, code of conduct, all the things. And you can find those on our website. And it's just a helpful guide to kind of walk you through the process. And so we want you to take advantage of that. And excuse me. And if you have questions, gathering at ELCA.org. Gathering at ELCA.org. Justin just put the link for the registration workbook into the chat, I think. So always put your question. And let me just tell you a little bit, for those of you that have questions, here's how this process works. We have a system called Zendesk, and it's basically a customer service, website, platform. Platform's the right word. And so if an email comes in or a phone call comes in, they come in order. We're able to respond to those. So if you send the email, you don't have to call as well, because it's just doubles up. So if you have a question, gathering at ELCA.org, and it puts you into the system. And we're a staff of now 4 as of Monday. We were at 3 and now we're at 4. So give us a little time. And over the holidays, we're all trying to get our vacation in that we didn't take during the year. So we're guilty of that. But we will be checking Zendesk to try to respond to your questions. And we know that come January, it will kick off pretty hard again. And so just know that we're in it, we're responding, and we can see your stuff in order, which is helpful.
Yes, thanks. For sure. Thank you, Tammy. And so now is the time that we can answer some Q&A live. So if you have questions, please put that in the Q&A feature and we will kind of go at them right now. So will the gathering be having any transportation options from the airport to hotels? So our logistics team is working on contracting with a few different vendors that would provide that service for you, but you would be booking that kind of directly with those companies and not through the gathering office. So stay tuned for information on that. Let's see, the fee is waived for the table for the whole thing, including the gathering, or just the table. So it's just the table. So it's the 190, which is the rate for the table that would be waived, but then they would still need to pay for the gatherings registration fee. How many have registered so far? Tammy, do you have
I was
you
just
looked?
looking. I have two screens. That's what I was like. Oh, I don't know the answer to that. Looks like
Okay.
we're at just over 12,300 something. Looks like it for congregations. That does not include volunteers or any of that, any other folks.
Great. Let's see. Okay. Someone is looking for information on flights. Is there somewhere on the website that has a general time schedule? Yes, there is. Let me find it and put it in the chat. There is our tentative schedule. I will say that registration will be open on the 16th from 8 to 8, with doors opening at mass gathering at 5:30. And so if you get there around mid-afternoon, you'll be all set. And then when does it end on the 20th? Before noon. I want to say like
11:30, I think.
11:30.
And if you arrive on the 15th, we will have registration on that Monday, the 15th, from, was it 3 to
8? 3 to 8,
maybe?
We just looked this up.
We
I think
just
it's 3
looked
to
at
8.
that. I just saw it.
Also, just since you're looking at flights, just to kind of give you some updates on that, the gathering has partnered with Southwest, and so Southwest will provide some discounts. We don't know what the discount will be, but that link should be on the website later this week on the Getting to New Orleans sub page. Yes, Getting to New Orleans. And so that will have information on how to get that discount. And we hope to have discounts with other airlines as well. Southwest was just the first one to get back to us. So we'll keep you updated on that. And someone actually just asked that question, so that was perfect. Let's see. We are coming in just now to register for MYLE in the youth gathering. Do you have any advice for transportation? I think it's really up to you. I know a lot of people are looking at flying, people are driving, there's some people even taking the train. So it kind of depends on you and your group, if you have a large group versus a small group, as well as how far you're coming. I know Tammy could probably take a train to New Orleans. Coming from North Carolina, coming from Washington, I don't think I would want to take a train, but that's just me. So I think it just depends on your group. But if you have specific questions about transportation, please email us. Will hotels gathering help with transportation from airports to hotels? Kind of answer that. I will say that all of the hotels, none of them will provide any sort of shuttle service downtown. Where will Synod Days be held? Those will be held throughout some of our bigger ballroom spaces in the hotels across the city. So yeah. Any suggestions for getting the lowest prices for flying? Oh gosh, Tammy, you just booked a bunch of flights, so
So I was on city staff in North Carolina, so I organized buses. So I didn't do the group flights. So I'm not of super big help. But I think most, depending on the size of your group, that's the thing. Depending on how many flights you can book at one time too. Like, so I think it depends on each of the airlines as far as the group number. So I'm sorry, I'm not a great help on that.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a local travel agent in your community, definitely reach out to them and see if they can help. Do you know which bands or speakers will be at mass gathering or community life events? Not yet. Those teams are still kind of in the brainstorm phase, and so nobody has been contracted yet. And so we'll start to kind of make some fun announcements as we get closer to the event. Will the young adults be able to request their roommates at a later point when they know others from their church who are going? Yes, they can also request a roommate now. In the registration system, they can put a specific person, or they can just mark that they would like to share a room with someone, and we'll happily match them up with someone.
Okay, I like the next question. Our Synod would like to help pay registration costs for folks attending. Is there a way for our Synod to pay directly or set up a way? Yes, there is. Gathering at elca.org. We will make that happen.
Yes.
My Synod, I'm so proud of them. I'm just so happy. I'm so proud of them. So we had a discount code for North Carolina. So we'll be happy to figure out one for you.
Yeah. Like Tammy said, just email us and we can figure that one out. For the table, is the hotel and food included as well? Yes, for the table and for MYLE, both housing and food will be included in that. If we registered our group under the early bird price and now we need to add someone, are they still early bird pricing, or are they whatever the current pricing is? It is whatever the current pricing is. So it's whenever you pay that $150 deposit is when that one specific registration is locked into the rate. So everyone else is still considered early bird, but if you add on a few now, it would be at the higher rate. And if you add a few in March, it would be at the late rate. Do you have recommendations for buses? I don't know what that question, if you can provide a little bit more information.
Like buses. Like where you park them, or what, or where, or if you're bringing them, or all those. Yeah, tell us a little more.
Yes. People who participate in MYLE and stay for the gathering, do we stay in the same hotel? I think you said the Marriott is the hotel near the convention center. Yes, it is across the street from the convention center. So very, very close. And yes, we will work with those congregations to see that they are staying either in the Marriott where MYLE will take place, or a very close hotel nearby. We have already booked with United. Do you know if there's any discounts offered after booking? You'll have to reach out to United directly for that one. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer to that one. Is the app available yet, or still in development? That is still in development. That will not be released until we get very close to the gathering, like a month out. Would you suggest we make reservations for meals or restaurants for the evening, or are there plenty of small restaurants that are fast that we could pop in and out of?
It's going to depend on the size of your group too.
Yeah, it'll depend on the size of your group and your flexibility, I think. You can try to make reservations. I don't think you'll be able to make a reservation this far in advance, but you could certainly try. We'll also have concessions at the convention center and different meal options throughout as well.
Patty tells us that we need at least a group of 10 for group prices. I'm guessing that's on flights. So thanks, Patty.
Yes. For the Do we need to arrange our own transportation for the scavenger hunts in the French Quarter? Nope, everything will be within a walkable distance in the French Quarter. If you've ever been to New Orleans, it is a very accessible city in that everything is kind of real close. When will hotel assignments be made? If you registered within priority registration, those will be done January 15th, I
think that's
think, right before the extravaganza. And if not, we don't have a specific date of when those hotel assignments will be made, but soon after. Yes, thank you, Jess, for the reminder. Churches are not tax exempt in the state of Louisiana, so that is just something to keep in mind. You have said new information will be coming out yet. Should we keep looking at the website for added information, or is there another way? Yes, keep looking at the gathering website. I would recommend bookmarking it and checking it frequently for updates, as well as being on our social media as well. We'll share updates there, and then also make sure that you're subscribed to the G News, because those updates will go out in the G News as well.
There's a follow-up about the airlines. You can call the direct lines let me try that again. You can call airlines directly, thanks Denise, and look into group tickets. They do cost a bit more, but all seats are together, and they restrict how many groups are on any one flight, so book early is the recommendation from Denise. And question from S about the buses.
Yes.
So I would look into your local company, since you're going to be like, there's no one company around. And I will tell you that the chartering buses the cost has increased dramatically since even since Houston. Arson is no longer doing buses because of the cost. It's cheaper to fly. So, but check with the local company, because that's where you're going to start and come back. And so there's not a national bus line that you want to, at least if there is, I don't know about it.
You could also contact your Gathering Synod champion or your Synod office and see if other people in your area are planning on taking a bus, and that you could possibly hop on as well. Will it be helpful for an adult leader to attend the extravaganza in January, which is in New Orleans?
100%.
Absolutely. One of the cool things that we're excited about is the network actually just shared today that instead of doing bus tours like we've done in the past, we're going to be using the scavenger hunt feature or the platform. So you'll be able to get a feel for what that will look like, as well as be able to walk the city to see restaurants you want to pop into. If you've registered by priority registration, then you'll be able to just go walk to your hotel. You can walk to the convention center, Superdome. So yes, it'll be extremely helpful if you are at the E in January.
And there's if you want to do the intensive care courses, there's a whole course on the gathering, and then there'll be workshops that our team will be doing during the extravaganza. So would love to have you there.
Does the gathering choose who will be rooming together for congregations? No, that will be up to you. So you can make it the request, like I would like 3 doubles and 2 kings, and we'll give you an assignment that would look like 3 doubles and 2 kings, and then you would go in and you would sort and kind of put people into different rooms, and that's how the assignment would work.
Justin, what is G News?
G News is our email that goes out. One went out just today with updates, tips, and tricks about how to attend the gathering, as well as just general information that you should know. I can put the link to sign up in the chat. If you have registered already, you're automatically signed up for the G News. But if you have not yet done that, you can subscribe through that link.
And the next one is, you said concessions will be at the convention center. Will they also be at the Superdome? Yes, yes, absolutely. There will be a window. Just know this, that there will be a window that they will be open. When programming starts in the Superdome, they close. It's a hard close. It doesn't matter if you're in line. It's going the thing is going to come down. So, but there's so many. They're all going to be open, and there'll be plenty of food. And weather permitting, there'll be food trucks outside. It's always weather permitting and everywhere, but yeah.
I'm trying to plan for fundraising. Do you have information on room rates? So we've been telling congregations to budget around 170 plus tax, and tax is around 17%. Is that right, Tammy?
Yes, that's a good number.
17%. So 170 plus around 17% tax per room per night. And so that's kind of the ballpark that we're telling people to budget for. Any other questions?
Hey, and someone's found a quick search on Amtrak. A round trip from Milwaukee to New Orleans is $250. So there you go.
Taking the train.
I'm going to put Justin on a train. That's my plan.
No, I'll be flying. It'll take me a few days.
Is this, I think that.
Any other questions before we end it for the night? So all of our East Coast friends can
go to bed.
Go to bed.
The train. That's fabulous.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, everyone, for what email address?
Gathering at elca.org. Gathering at elca.org.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if you have any questions tonight or tomorrow or whenever, feel free to email us and our team will get back to you. But
we'll have future webinars coming up. So
yep. So pay attention to that. They'll be in the G News, as well as we'll send an email to you just for registering for this webinar, for future ones. But yeah, we want to say thanks for spending 47 minutes of your evening with us. And we're super excited to welcome you and your group to the Bayou next summer. And yeah, if you have any other questions, just let us know. And if not, we will see you in New Orleans.
And check out the Spotify playlist that Justin put together for you that's in the G News today. So check it out.
Yes.
It'll get you in the season. So
yes, for sure.
have a great evening,
All right.
everyone. We
Take care.
appreciate you.